Hello guys, this is I Am Never Stopped Out. Welcome to my second video, and today's video is going to be about execution. It's going to be really straightforward. I executed two trades today. I made around 650 in terms of dollar amount, and they were opposite trades. One was short, one was long, and unfortunately when I was recording those trades, I tried to do like a live trading where I show you my execution and commentary at the same time. This little microphone, for whatever reason, stopped working in the middle of the video, so when I rewatched the video there was no audio, so now I need to react to my own screen recording of me executing trades, try to explain the thought process behind it and show you how those trades went. So it's going to be execution video, and the second half of the video I will go a little bit deeper into what was the strategy, what was my reasonings behind, and so on. But I'll try to do it when we look those executions, give my commentary, what was happening, what I saw, and yeah, let's get right into it. So the first thing first, here is the execution that I was recording before. So the market was opened by this time around 20 minutes. The 15-minute orb was already formed. As you see, I enter short even when we are bullish in a bullish trend. Now, why do I enter short here? Well, as you can see, I put my stop loss above this 15-minute high. Again, I'm going to explain orb in a little bit, because for me there was two things that can happen in this market. We either break out to the upside, I'll go long, I get stopped out and I find a new trade, or we get a little retracement to the VWAP and then we'll see what the market gives us. Because the 15 minutes, so these red lines were the 15-minute high and the low, and they were quite, as you can see, the range was quite high. I expect Fridays usually to be quite rangy days. There was another factor that we were so close to all-time highs. I don't like trading all-time highs so much because you don't have any data on your left, but I saw this short opportunity. It was a cheap trade in terms of being on the higher side of the range. Maybe we're gonna get some pullback to the VWAP before we shoot up. This is exactly what happened. The trade went to my way quite quickly. I didn't want to stay shorts for a long time, and now I'm thankful that I didn't. My TP was quite straight on the point before the market reversed on the upside. So this was the first short, and as you can see, this is real speed. This is not sped up. It was literally maybe 3 minutes, 3-4 minutes executing, and the trade was hit the profit target. And after that, I took some time off. I always want to relax my emotions, whether it's losing or winning, because when you win or lose, it affects you emotionally. So here it is, the short hit. This was today. As you can see, this is no replay or anything. This was live action. Unfortunately, yeah, I lost the audio of it. So now, once this trade was finished, I wanted to see what market does. We actually bounced exactly in this area, so I could have taken few more points. And now we're gonna move into a long. So the first trade was this short here. As you can see, I pretty much executed it perfectly, and now I was looking for longs. So I switched the accounts. I made 362 on one account. I switched to another account to go for long. Now why I'm going long here is, again, this and this red line is 15-minute high and low. I take it by when the New York opens. The first 15-minute candle, I wait it out, I mark the high and low. Once the price breaks on either side, whether it's on the lower side or higher side, I take long or short. I'm going to explain this on the second half of the video. Let's just see me executing it. So I see that the price breaks 15-minute orb, and we also break the all-time high. This yellow line is the all-time high. So there's two I would say, positive signs for longs that the all-time high didn't push us lower. If the all-time high would have pushed us lower, we will see much higher volume. We break out to the upside with a really good volume. Now let's see the execution. So I switch my accounts, I go into long very quickly, and now the profit target itself comes quite hard in this trade, because since you don't have any data on your left, meaning we are at all-time highs, then you never really know when, well, volume can help you, but you never really know when the sellers come in. You can only see it by volume. There are some other indicators as well that can help you, and I'm gonna have a separate videos on those indicators. But as you can see me executing, the trade didn't go as smoothly as the first trade. I had to check different charts. Again, this will be explained in different videos. But here you can see, so I was long, and the main thing I'm gonna pause this video for a second. The main thing I wanted to see here on this long was that we are not gonna break this red line. My entry is here, the green line, and the important here is we don't break this red line to the downside, because that will invalidate the 15-minute ORB trade. Now let's see how it plays out. So the momentum wasn't on my side immediately. The market was quite hesitant to go up, and I think it's quite obvious. We are close to all-time highs. There are still sellers on the all-time highs. They're looking for the easy shorts. Let's short all-time high, because that's the last time we didn't manage to close above for the buyers. And now, as you can see, this trade took much longer. This is sped up quite a lot, and here I'm completely only monitoring to see if the trade will come back on this red line. Then I will think about closing my trade. Now what happens is I check different time frames, I see what the candles are showing me, again putting the story together, and you're gonna see me soon moving to break my stop loss to break even. And I'm gonna explain my reasoning behind it as well. Here I'm just monitoring we can't cross this red line. We test it again, which is really positive side for me in this trade. And yeah, let it play out for a moment. So let me pause it here for a second. So here I get another confirmation that my long is valid, because this red line is the 15-minute ORB. We don't come down it, we don't close any candle below it, so this is really good sign to stay in the long. Now here we start going into the profit, and you see what happens here. So this was 1 minute candle, and we have this huge move up, which is rejected by the sellers immediately. Now what I'm gonna do next in this trade is I'm gonna move my stop loss into break even, which is a little bit risky, because if you move your stop loss to break even really early on your trades, you put yourself in a risk that you will get stopped out at break even and the trade will go to your way. I decided to take this risk. Why? Because if I see a candle like this happening, where there's huge move up and it gets rejected immediately, then I might see this a little bit as a liquidity grab or stop run. So meaning the stops get triggered and we're gonna reverse. So I was a little bit hesitant that we might get instant reversal just based on how the candle looked like, and also the volume. So the volume is quite high, but the candle doesn't give me the full body. So that's why you're gonna see me moving the stop loss into break even. So yeah, here I see the candle reaction, boom, I put the stop loss to break even. So now I lower my probability of this trade hitting my TP quite a lot. But yeah, this wiki candle scared me here, so let's see what happens next. So now here I was kinda relieved, because I see that even though we had this wiki candle, we are moving still do the upside, meaning it wasn't a stop run, and we're gonna probably get continuation to the upside. So let's see, let's the trade play out. And now what you're gonna see me doing is, since I'm here inside the trade with 5 micros, I'm starting to scale out. Why I wanted to scale out? Because again, we were at all-time highs, and you never know when the sellers come in. And since I was already up 360 on one account, I wanted to protect my capital as much as possible. I didn't want to turn this trade into loser, or I wanted to get something out of this trade. So what I did was, you're gonna see me scaling out. So right now I'm in 5 contracts, and soon as I start to see some resistance in this area, I decide, okay, I'm gonna take some profits, I'm gonna secure some profits, I'm gonna sell 2 contracts. So here we get another bullish upside, and I scale out the first contract out of 5. This will secure me more profit. Even when it comes to break even, I'm up more than just the break even itself. So you're gonna see the the first contract will hit. I'm scaling out 1, and then I also set limit to scale out another contract. Now, why I was scaling out and not holding the full position? Again, because we were at all-time highs. And another thing you notice, I love the volume, I love my charts in terms of volume, and you see the volume itself is not giving me super high signals that this is gonna be a clear rocket to the upside. And I explained in my first video that I see the market with different characters. So here I can also see that stochastic RSI is a little bit overextended. Even if it's a short time frame, I can expect some pullback. So that's why I started to scale out. So let's let this trade play out into the end and see what happens. So as you can see, it wasn't as quick trade as the first one. Market gave me a little bit test of my patience to see if I can hold the trade, or if I see some dollars and just exit the trade early. So here you can see in the middle, I also trimmed another contract. So right now I have realized $55 on this account. I wanted to secure as much profits as possible because I was already up on another account. And now it was just for me to leave the last 3 as the runners. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to skip a little bit forward. The market didn't give me a lot of reactions, and it wasn't moving with the momentum I wanted to see. So now when we are getting close to the end, now we really start to see some momentum. I even, because I was recording live with my audio, even put some music behind it to support the market, give the market a little bit of hype on moving to my TP direction. So anyways, here what happens is I see that we are pushing up, but again, since we are making all-time highs, since we are in the price discovery, it's really hard to determine where we actually should exit the trade. So here I got a little bit hesitant, because if you look at the volume, and let me get back to the charts, a few trend lines just to see if it's supporting my trade. So here I see that the volume is quite high, but if you compare the volume here, it's actually a little bit lower. So the move to the upside was actually getting a little bit weaker in terms of volume. And now let's see how the trade plays out. So I'm gonna skip it a little bit more, and I put another scale out. So now what I did was, since we're pushing up finally, and I still didn't know what's gonna be the final TP for this trade, because again, all-time highs, then I wanted to scale out 1 more contract to secure more profits, to lower my risk to when it comes to break even, then I'm gonna get less dollars. So you will see it's gonna hit my another partial TP in a moment, and then you're gonna see me do something maybe that's even against my rules, but I didn't let this trade to play out completely. So let me pause it here. So now what I have done is I entered with 5 contracts. Now I only have 2 contracts left in this trade. So I have scaled out fairly more than half of my position. I have secured 121 in this account, and my TP is I'm waiting for the runners to hit my TP and completely get out of this trade. Of course, I'm risk free because the trade is on break even. So now what happens is I want you to look this very closely. Maybe some of you think this is a mistake, me not following my plan, but I'll explain my rationality behind it. So what happens here is you see this wick really close to my TP. Now I'm gonna close my trade, and why I close my trade is market doesn't care where your take profit is. Market doesn't care where your stop loss is. Market will always move in a way that it does whatever the fuck it wants. And I was in this trade for probably an hour, not entirely sure, 25, maybe 45 minutes and so on. So when I see this candle giving me this aggressive move so close to my take profit and then immediately rejecting, I'm gonna close this trade. And the reason being is, as I said, market doesn't give you always what you expect. Market does whatever it wants. It doesn't do what you want. So when you're that close to your take profit, and sometimes it's wiser to just close the trade because maybe you didn't set your profit to exactly in the right place where market reversed. So for me it was, well, I didn't have the take profit at the perfect location. I was really close. Market might reverse here. Let's close the trade. So you're gonna see me, I'm gonna exit the trade because I see that this move is not continuing. Close, boom, 260, 261, close. Okay, so now you saw real executions, and now I'm gonna get into why I shorted the first trade and why I was longing the first trade. I think I made it quite obvious, but let me do a quick ABC on 15-minute orb. I'm not gonna make this video as long as the first video, so let's get right into it. So 15-minute orb is really simple. You wait for the market to open, whether for you it's Asian, whether it's London session, or whether it's New York session. For me, I always trade New York session. 15-minute orb is really a mechanical strategy. What you will do is you will wait until the first 15-minute candle to form. You don't touch the market, you just see what the price does in the first 15 minutes after opening. Now, if you look here, this is this candle here, and let me give you a better visualization. So this candle here is S&P 500 15-minute, and as you can see on S&P 500 the range of the first 15 minutes is quite small, while on the New York, let me make it visually very clear, on the New York the first 15-minute range is quite high. So what made me short bullish trend, and as you saw in the previous recap, what made me short New York Nasdaq in this case? So when we zoom out to the 5 minutes, what you're gonna see is, so this is the 15-minute orb, and on S&P 500 we, on the left side, on this side, we are breaking 15-minute orb, meaning it's validating our strategy to go long. But when I look at Nasdaq on the same time, it's not even close to breaking 15-minute high. So what do I expect? Because I know if the orb works in my favor, in S&P 500 for example, then I know it's gonna do a retest. So while we are above 15-minute orb, on the S&P 500 and we are nowhere close here, I expect this retest to give me this short inside of Nasdaq. Does it make sense? Because it's gonna give me very cheap trade to short side. I'm only risking that in case Nasdaq will go to the upside, I'm gonna switch to longs, which I did later on my second trade. But as I see that Nasdaq is lagging behind on S&P 500, I'm expecting the retracement back to the orb to retest it, while this Nasdaq is not even close, breaking the orb. I got my short, I get out, and then I wait for the break to the either side of the orb in reality. So to give you a quick summary, what is 15-minute orb? You wait for the candle close above or below, then you wait for retest, you enter on a retest, and then you short, or same, you wait for the candle close up, you wait for the retest, and then you long. And you're usually, where I like to put my stop loss is usually probably the last candle before we start making breakout to the upside, or the high volume candle like I showed in my example. So this was a really quick video. Don't worry, if this seemed really complicated, then I'll do much more in-depth explanation on orb, what other things I saw in this trade. But this channel was to show you transparency. This channel was to show you real executions. It's really unfortunate that the video was cut off early, that I couldn't show you me executing and commenting at the same time. Well, next time I'll be more cautious about my microphone battery, but it is what it is. You saw the real executions. I finished my Friday by being up 650. I think it's a really good day for me. Maybe I find more trades. Usually right now it's 8 p.m. at my time. It's few hours into New York Open, so usually I don't prefer trading anymore because, as you can see, the volume is dying down a little bit. Let's see, maybe the market gives me something else, then I will make another video. But yeah, I wanted to show you execution based on only on one strategy. Super quick trades, super simple trades, not a lot of different characters involved. Thank you for watching. I'll see you soon. Stay never stopped out. See you.